So here's a big old mill out in the middle of nowhere, about 8 miles from the old town of Oro Grande. You can see it's just all fallen down. This is where they'd mill the ore. Over here is, the boiler. They got it all bricked in where they generate the steam in order to drive. Looks like there's a lid off one of the pressure vessels or something here. Maybe it was the water, but you can see that this was where they would generate the steam in order to drive the mill itself. You see structural things up in here. But just over to the right of it, I tried to get a video, my camera wouldn't work, but there's the shaft, and it has the has the rails going into it and water's flowing out of it. They actually went ahead and back off in this direction over here. They went ahead and they filled the shaft in, but there's a big tailings pile all the way down the hill here. But these guys back in the 30s and 20s and 30s, when they came in here and did this, there's just all sorts of the buildings just falling down. They, laid their forms down, built this structure. These guys were something. Right here they did a lot of brickwork around here. You can see where they have little mesh in there to hold it all together. But they were some hardy dudes. Up top, bunch of houses or cabins up there where they must have stayed. There's a few more down here on the road I'll show you too, but it was a whole community up here, it looks like. I think it was the old Penman Mine. I'm not sure, but I'll check out and see, and then I'll type it in here. But you can see the walkways, the gangplanks, everything across through here. It's just all falling down. Pretty interesting though, old mining history. So here's that mine shaft I was telling you about. You can see right down here at the bottom, you can see the rails right there leading back into the shaft. You see the water coming out right here of the shaft itself. But it goes back into that mountain. I'm not sure how far, but I know that up top, up there, there was another shaft and that we drove over the top of. So I'm sure they're interconnected down through here. And it's pretty interesting. These old guys that back here in the 30s, 20s and 30s that were up here doing this, going into that little narrow shaft. Now over here, they just kind of abandoned everything when it all went up. You can see this tailing pile from the shaft. It runs all the way down there about half mile, right down the hillside. Over here, you can see some remnants of it. And right down there is you probably might not be able to make it out, but right down in here in this area is an old mining car. Really interesting. Yeah, you can see the old mining car, the shaft car. So this is some mining history in Idaho. I'm going to show you some cabins too. Here's one of the mining cabins I told you about. This one was really tightly built. I mean, that's some really good cabin building. That's probably why this one is still standing as well as it is. But this is one of them. There's another one right down here in this area. You can see it right there in the corner. And there's a whole row of them here. Whole row of cabins through here. I'll show you a couple more. Well, my wife and I have decided that out of about the 20 structures that are here, that this is the bunkhouse. Just looks like a bunkhouse. You can see over here they had something for a fireplace, some storage there, and a whole lot of devastation. This looks like there was bed frames back in here where they might have bunked. Little storage area here. Really interesting bench. But pretty interesting stuff. I imagine people have come up here with metal detectors and detected all around here to see if they found any old coins. But yeah, you can see where they had a little pad here to put a stove on it, wood stove. Pretty interesting. This is, like I said, about one of about 20 that are up in here. So this must have been a pretty big mining operation. And my wife's over here. Back up that road there, there's a bunch of them. Back down here, there's still more on the road down in front of us here. It's pretty interesting.